Hello, welcome to Biology for You. In this video, we are going to discuss Hershey and Chase experiment. In the series of videos, we have been discussing different concepts in molecular biology. In this video, we are going to discuss what exactly is the basic idea of this Hershey and Chase experiment, followed by what is the significance of this experiment in the field of molecular biology. So basically, in the year of 1952, two scientists named Alfred Hershey and Martha Chase carried this experiment, and in this experiment they want to describe the genetic material. That means scientists until that period, the scientific community have no idea of what exactly is the genetic material is. That means what exactly is a macromolecule that is responsible for the inheritance patterns. That means what is the physical basis of the inheritance which is responsible for the transmission of characters from parental generation to the offspring. So they want to learn what is the physical basis of this inheritance patterns. So they want to know the nature of the genetic material, whether it is a DNA or a protein. They want to learn that. So in this experiment, Alfred Hershey and Martha Chase experimentally proved that DNA is the only genetic material. So in most of the organisms, and DNA is the genetic material. That means this is the molecule which is responsible for in which the information will be resides, and that is responsible for the inheritance patterns. That means it transmits the characters from the parental generation to the offspring, and it also have the information regarding all cellular processes. So that means the DNA is a genetic material. So that is got experimentally proved in this Hershey and Chase experiment. So that is what is significance of this experiment. So going into the detailed process of the experiment. Basically, the experimental organism they took is T2 bacteriophage. Basically, this is a very simple virus. That means it is made up of a protein coat and the DNA inside it. As we already discussed, until then the scientific community have no idea whether the protein coat is responsible for this genetic that means this protein coat which is responsible for infecting the bacteria, or the DNA which resides inside this is responsible for the transmitting the bacteria. So in this experiment they used E. coli as an experimental organism which is infected by this T2 bacteriophage. During the course of infection, they expected the genetic material, whether it's a DNA or protein, will go and enter into the E. coli cell, and it will be integrated inside the genomic DNA of E. coli cell, and there it hijacks the genetic material of the bacteria, and it manipulates the genetic material of the bacteria so that it starts expressing the viral genes and also viral particles. So in their experiment they want to learn what exactly is responsible for all these viral cycles. So whether it is a protein or a DNA, they want to learn that. So what they did, they radio labeled these two components separately. That means They took fraction of viral particles and they separated into two subfractions. And to the first fraction or the portion of the viral particles, they radio labeled their protein. That means that here in the first case, the protein coat is radio labeled. So they need to use a unique radio label for that. That means that should be the radio label should be the chemical component that is only present on the protein but not in the DNA. So they took S35. S35 is such component, such chemical component which is only mostly present in the proteins but not in the DNA. So sulfur is not present in the DNA. So if we label viral particles with this sulfur S35 radioisotope, then the protein coat will be labeled. And to the second fraction, they used P32 radio label. So this P32 radio label is such a chemical component which only present in the DNA but not in the protein. That means if we label using this P32, the viral particles are labeled, then the DNA moiety, only the viral DNA will be labeled but not the protein. So here in the first fraction the protein coat is labeled, and to the second fraction the DNA present inside the protein coat is labeled. And they allowed these two kinds of viruses to infect the E. coli bacteria. So both kind of virus are allowed to infect the E. coli bacteria, and they want to know what is exactly transmitting from viral to the bacteria. And in the first step of infection process, the viral particles generally adsorbed onto the surface of the bacteria, and in the second step they generally release their genetic material inside it. So whether it's a DNA or protein, by that time that is unknown. So the genetic material will be inserted inside the bacterial host cell, and it will cause all those changes. That means the viral replication, it will be responsible for the viral replication and followed by the viral particle production and multiplication. So the remaining all process of life cycle will be carried by a single genetic material that is inserted inside the bacteria. So they used a blender to remove such adsorption after a while. That means this blender causes hesitations in the bacterial cultures. So due to this hesitation, the physical relation, that means the adsorption, this physical attachment will be broken, and the viral particles will be removed from the bacterial cultures, and the the genetic material which is already entered inside the bacterial cell will remains with the bacteria. So the coat will be removed here from the bacteria, and during the next step they used centrifugation. So during the process of centrifugation, the viral particles will be separated from the bacteria. And that will come into the supernatant. And once after the centrifugation is carried, the viral particles which are multiplied inside the bacteria will be separated from the bacterial host cells. So they checked here, at this point they checked for the radioactivity of the viral particles which are from the first fraction and the second fraction, and they observed there is no radioactivity at all in the first fraction, and they observed radioactivity in the second fraction. That means the protein code which is labeled with S35 is not entered inside the bacteria here, and but the protein code which is labeled is separated out during the blending process, and the DNA which is entered inside the bacterial cell is multiplied, and hence the radioactivity is remains with the viral particles which are produced from this process. So in the first fraction there is no radioactivity, and in the second fraction they observed a radioactivity. So the DNA which is coated with P32 is entering into the bacteria. That means that is the genetic material. So the bacteriophages after attachment, they are injecting their genetic material, that is nothing but the DNA but not the protein. Protein codes are remained outside the bacterial cell during the course of infection, and the DNA is only entering into the bacterial cell and causing the infection. So they concluded that DNA as a genetic material that is entering inside the bacterial cell and responsible for the remaining viral infection process. So that is what the Hershey and Chase experiment is. This experimentally proved the genetic material as DNA. So that is what the conclusion of this experiment is.